Welcome to the nightclub. Today we're going over our exam review for the first 9 weeks. I know you're excited. So am I. That's chapters 5, 6, and 7, right?
I don't know.
5, 6, and 7.
We only did 3 chapters.
Okay, yeah, we only did 3 chapters, but we took 6 tests because we did a mid-test every time. So, all right, here we go. Review. Number 1, tell whether it is a solution. All you do is what with these two? Plug them in. So, is 2 plus 1 equal to 3?
Yeah.
Yep. Is negative 3 times 2 plus 1 equal to negative 5?
Yes.
Yes. So this is yes. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay. Don't forget your exam, the actual real life exam, will not be like this. It will be multiple choice. Okay. So your practice exam that we'll do tomorrow will also be multiple choice. So you can, if you don't have any clue, you can always try to guess and check and plug in answers and see if you can't figure it out. Okay. 2, 3, and 6. I'm looking. It says solve the system of linear equations. It does not tell you how to solve it, so you can do any of the 3 ways: graphing, substitution, or elimination. Okay. Now, this one, 2 and 3 are both set up to do what? Graph, eliminate, or substitute. Graph. They're both y equals. So graphing is the easiest way. So I'm going to go to my graphing calculator. Quit on all that. Get all that off my board. There we go. Go to y equals and clear that out as well. Here we go. Plug in the equations. You got negative x plus 16, and you have x plus 14. And you hit graph. Okay? Can you see where they intersect?
No.
No. So what do? Zoom what? Zoom out. Okay? Zoom. Number 3. You have to hit enter. Now I can see it. Okay? And what do we do to get their intersection? Second what? Second trace. And we want number 5. And you just hit enter 1, 2, 3 times. There's your intersection. X is 1, Y is 15. So on your paper, just put 1, 15. All right? Questions on number 2? 3. I dropped it, caught it, and then I dropped it again. Did you see that? All right. Number 3, same process. We got negative x minus 8. And 1/3 x. You said that's what your boss is? Yeah. Is that why? Oh, that explains it. I got you.
Coach, did you catch on to it at first?
No, I didn't even understand what he was talking about at first. Now I do. Now we're good. 1/3 x plus 4. Hit graph. Second trace. Number 5. Enter, enter, enter. Negative 9 and 1. Any questions on how to do that? You got that, Ethan?
No.
Birthday boy? Everybody good?
Very surprised.
What question are
3.
Why'd you say 2?
I don't know, because we just got done doing something.
We good?
Everybody good? So 2 was, what was it, 115? I done forgot.
I'm trying to do it.
2 was 115, 3 is negative 9, 1. Okay? Number 4, you have options. If you thought 2 and 3 were easy, what can you do to 4 to make them like 2 and 3?
Move the X and make the Y.
You can solve them for Y. Okay? Or it's set up to do which way? Elimination. Okay? It's set up to do elimination. So, do I care which way you do it?
No.
All right? Just make sure you do it right, whichever way you do it. I'm going to do elimination. So if I were going to get rid of x's or y's, which one's easier to get rid of? The y. But I need this y. If there's a negative 2y here, I need this y up here to be what? Positive 2y. So I'm going to multiply everything in this top one by negative 2. Okay? Distribute the negative 2. We'll get 18x plus 2y equals 16. This just comes over without being changed at all. We add them up. 22x. 2y minus 2y makes 0, and 16 plus 6 is 22. Divide by 22. X is 1. And then what do we do to get y? Plug it in. Does it matter which one I plug it into? It does not. So 4 times 1 minus 2y equals 6. I'm just plugging it into that one. The second one, I could have plugged it into the top one. It does not matter. That's going to be 4, so I would subtract 4 over. I get negative 2y equals 2. Divide by negative 2, y is negative 1. So 1, negative 1. Okay? Yeah, hold on to it. The joke's over. We've already used it. We don't need to keep using it.
Yes, it's like beating a dead horse.
Everybody good on 4?
Oh.
Again, could you have graphed it if you wanted to? Yes, but you would have had to solve it for y on both of them first. Yes, ma'am.
You're laughing, though.
Thermostat's on 60. So, sorry. All right, number 5. What do we want to do there? It's set up to do what? Plug in, which is aka substitution. I know y already. It's what? Negative 4, and I just have to plug it in to get x. Okay? So, let me scroll up a little bit. So y is negative 4. 2x plus negative 4 equals 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. 2x is 8. Divide by 2. X is 4. Y is negative 4. I know, I'm sorry. I kind of connected on to my 8. No, it's not going right.
That's you.
That better? Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
All right. How would we do 6?
For the graph.
Graph it. It's set up to graph, so I would graph it. I'll give you a second. Finish up number 5, and then we'll do 6. Everybody good?
I'm all. Oh. Dude, I've had the hiccups for like 30 minutes now. I don't need to grow anymore.
6. Type in x minus 10 and 3x plus 10. Hit graph. Again, second trace. Number 5, intersect, and hit enter 1, 2, 3 times. Answer's negative 10, negative 20. Any questions on 6? Everybody good? I got it, Joe? Good. All right. Number 7. It's set up to do how? How is set up? How is number 7?
Elimination.
Elimination. Do I have to multiply, add, or anything?
No.
No. All right. So 7. Do I have to multiply, subtract, divide? Do I have to do anything to it other than just add them up? No. Just add them up. So we're going to have negative 2x. The y's will cancel. Divide by negative 2. X is 2. What do you do to get y?
You got minus 4x, so it goes to the other side. Then you got divided to -1. So y will equal -4x plus 6. And then you put 2 in the x spot. Then you solve it.
That you finally said what I was getting. Just plug 2 in for what? What do I plug 2 in for?
Yeah.
X. Now, can I do it on top or bottom?
Oh, it don't matter.
It doesn't. I'm going to do it on the bottom. Why would I do it on the bottom?
Because I did it on the top.
No. Because the bottom one is a positive y already. I don't have to worry about the negative. Okay? So -6 times 2 plus y is -10. That makes -12, so we add 12 over. What is -10 plus 12? 2. So
Hey, so you ain't got to move like make y by itself.
I did move it. I just moved it after I plugged in. See what I'm saying? When I added 12? It doesn't matter when you move it. Okay?
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. Number 8.
You got to move stuff around.
You do. You can do substitution. However, I think it's probably going to be quicker
Hey,
to solve the top one for y and then just graph them.
Plug the line.
Okay?
Plugged it
So
in.
this one's all ready to plug in. This one though, I need to move my 4x over. Okay? So 3y equals -4x minus 63. Divide by 3. So y is -4/3 x minus 21. So now we have 2 y equals, and now we can put them in our calculator. Makes it a little quicker and easier, okay? So, go to y equals. I'm leaving this stuff up here so I can see what I'm plugging in. For this one, I'm plugging, oh shoot. What am I plugging in on that? -4x. Try this again. -4x minus 53. And then for this one, I have it written right here. It's -4/3 x. Make sure you put parentheses around your fraction. Minus 21. And hit graph. Let me get all that out of the way now. And then what do? You get the intersection? Second, trace. Number 5. Enter, enter, enter. -12, -5. Again, the answers are in the back. -12, -5 is correct. Everybody good on number 8? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Braden, you good? Okay, this was the stuff you missed. So, all right. Number 9, what's it set up to do? Definitely set up to do elimination. We're going to multiply everything by what up there? 2 to get the numbers the same. So we'll get -16x, -16y, and positive 16. Here we'll have positive 16x, positive 16y, and -16. And what happens? Cancels, cancels, everything cancels. If we end up with 0 equals 0, what is my answer? Infinite solutions. Okay? If you end up with something that does not work, like 0 equals 5, is 0 equal to 5? No, then it would be no solution. Okay? But for that one's infinite solutions. Everybody good on page 1? The front. All right? On the back. Number 10, last one of these. Again, it is set up to do elimination. Okay? So I want to multiply by what kind of 2 there? A -2. Okay, so the top's not going to change. But I want to have the same numbers but opposite signs. So now that's going to be positive 2x, negative 2y, and positive 26. Is that right? So those, everything cancels again? Is that right? Yeah, it does. So that one is also infinite solutions. Okay? Let me make sure those are right on the...
Why do you sound so confused?
Well, because I made it, I know, but I didn't, I thought I would have made one infinite and one no solution. Maybe I made them no solution on the practice test. All right. Everybody good? Okay. 11, 12, and 13. You can work it out normal, okay? But in this chapter, we learned how to do what with these type problems? Do y'all remember? Graph them, and then find their intersection, okay? So, I don't know if you remember, we would plug the left side into the calculator and plug the right side into the calculator and see where they intersect. Y'all remember doing that? Okay. Now, these are a little different because what variable do we not need on our answer? Y, because there is no Y up there. Okay? So you can ignore the Y part on these. You only need X because X is the only variable that we have up here. Okay? So I'm just going to go through them real quick. We're typing all of them in the calculator. Okay? And again, the left side of the equals goes on one Y equals, and the right side goes on the other. So when you go to your Y equals, you clear them out. What's the left side of number 11 say?
Left side what?
Number 11. Negative 2x plus 1. The right side says negative 3 times x plus 7. And then we do what?
And then we just plug it.
Hit graph. And then second, trace. Number 5. Enter, enter, enter. Do we need the 45?
No.
No. My only answer is x equals what?
It's negative 22.
Negative 22. That makes sense. Okay? Any questions? Sir?
I went to the office.
For what?
Bryce's just broke.
What's the office going to do to fix it?
Call my mom, see if I can see if she can bring some medicine.
All right, so 12, we do the same thing. Okay? Number 12, what's the left side of the equals? Negative 2x. What's the right side of the equals? Negative 3x plus 4. Hit graph. Second, trace. Number 5, the intersection. 1, 2, 3, enter 3 times. What does x have to be? 4. Okay? You are smart. All of y'all are when you want to be. Everybody good? All right. Ready for 13? 13, what's the left side?
We gotta do the absolute value.
Absolute value of 3x. Do y'all remember how to put absolute value?
No.
You hit second, 0 is the quickest way to get there. That is not the only way to get there. She said math. You can also hit math, and you have to, well, math, and I got to go to y equals first. Math, and you have to scroll over to num. Is that right? Yeah, and it's the very first one. Okay. So either way you get there does not matter. So absolute value of what on the left there?
Negative.
3x.
Negative.
Okay, and then the second one,
2x plus 2.
absolute value of 2x plus 10. And we graph. Now, what's different about this one?
Has 2.
Has 2 answers. So we have to do second, trace, intersect how many times? Twice. Okay? Second, trace, intersect. Now, I've just been hitting enter, boom, 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 and not really paying any attention because they've only been intersecting how many times? Once. So when they intersect twice, you need to move that cursor as close as you can to whichever one you're trying to find. Okay? So I'm going to look for that one. Enter 1, 2, 3. That x is what? -2. And I go through the whole process over again. Second trace, intersect is number 5, but this time I move my cursor up closer to that other answer. Let's see how that works. Okay? Enter, enter, enter. 10. So x is -2 and 10. Make sure you put both answers, okay? Or pick the one that has both answers. Remember, it's going to be multiple choice. Everybody good? The whole exam, multiple choice. Everybody good? Okay. The next two. No, it's A, B, C, or D. You're either going to get it right or wrong. Okay. Number 14. We are doing inequalities. Okay. So what you have to remember, I'm going to graph it. I'm going to type in x minus 3. But remember, my actual equation says x is what? Less than x minus 3. Okay? So you're going to graph it. And when you graph it, if I can hit graph, it's going to give you that line. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. Zoom 6. Okay, so it's going to give me this line. Okay? It's your responsibility to know what less than means for your graph. Okay? First off, was it less than and equal to? No, it was just less than. So that means your graph is going to be what? A dotted line. Boom. Oops. Got to be able to draw. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? Dotted line. And then since it's less than, where is my shade going to be? Down. Less than is down. Greater than is up. Okay? So everything below here. Okay? Remember, it's going to be a multiple choice test, correct? So you're going to have 4 graphs. Pick the one that's right. I don't know what your choices are. But if there's anything like most standardized tests, they're going to give you choices like this. Yes? No. So you'll have like one choice that will be the right answer. Okay? It'll be shaded like that. One choice will be shaded correctly, but what's wrong with it? It's not dotted. Okay? One choice will be dotted like it's supposed to be, but guess what? It's going to be shaded incorrectly. You got me? And then one choice will be solid but shaded incorrectly. Those are usually your choices. Does that make sense? Okay? You just got to pick the one that's right. Everybody with me? Okay? So again, if there's a line under it, it's a solid line. Okay? If there's no line under your inequality, it's a dotted line. Everybody with me? Less than means shade what? Down. Greater than means shade above. Okay? 15, same process. Just different equation. It's just y is greater than -4. So I just type in -4. This time, again, we were talking about y is greater than -4. So what kind of line should it be? It's a dash line again. Okay? And we will shade where? Above it this time. Okay? And then your last one, the first 16 are all from chapter 5. So if you want to put a little, say, chapter 5 stops here, okay? 1 through 16 is chapter 5. Number 17 starts chapter 6, okay? So the last one on chapter 5 is 16. We have 2 equations. We have 3x plus y is less than or equal to -1. and we have y plus 4 is greater than or equal to negative 3x. What do we have to do to both of those before we put it in our calculator? Get y by itself. So for this one, we're going to subtract 3x over. So we'll have y less than or equal to negative 3x minus 1. This one, we're going to subtract 4 over, and we'll have y is greater than or equal to negative 3x minus 4. These are what you put in your calculator. Okay? What can you tell me already about them? Since their slopes are the same, what kind of lines am I going to have? They're going to be parallel, but these are inequalities, so we're talking about the shades as our answer anyway. Okay? So it's not no solution unless the shades don't what? Don't cross. The lines, correct. If these were equals, the answer would be no solution. But since they're inequalities, we got to see if the shades cross or not. Okay? If the shades cross, we got an answer. If they don't cross, we don't have an answer. Okay? So, let's see here. I'm going to graph it on here. We got negative 3x minus 1 for that one. And we got negative 3x minus 4 for that one. All right, we're going to graph them. Uh-oh. All right, the minus 1 is the blue. Okay, so for this first one, I'm shading what? It's what? Shading down. It's less than, correct? Okay, so everything below the blue line, I'm shading. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Okay, what about the red line? It's what? It's above the red line. So everything above the red line, I'm going to shade. Okay, now, did their shades intersect? Yes. This part in the middle is your answer. Okay, now, listen to me closely. Are they going to shade this part for your answers?
No.
The only part they're going to have shaded on the answer is the part where they cross right here in the middle. Does everybody understand that? Okay? So just know that. If they only have that part shaded, that's the answer. That's the part, the answer is where it's double shaded. Everybody good? Okay? Everybody? If you'll look at your answers, you can see, yeah, there it is. Oh, they do include both shades. They just have it a little darker, so maybe it'll be easier. Everybody good on 16? Everybody good on chapter 5? Okay? A lot of using your calculator on chapter 5. There's even more using your calculator on chapter 6. Okay? Everybody good? All right, moving on. Where'd it go? Come on. Oh, I'm still highlighting. Here we go. So 17, like I said, this starts chapter what? Chapter 6 starts right here. Okay? The first 17, 18, 19, 20. The first 4, you can just do what? Put them in your calculator. Anything to the 0 power is? 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. I guarantee you just about, I don't know, I shouldn't guarantee you, but if I was given a test, okay, guess what would be one of the answers I'm going to give? Besides 1. 1's right. What's a wrong answer that I'm definitely going to give? 0. So make sure you got them straight because you're going to have to choose between them, okay? If all else fails, grab your calculator and put 8 to the 0 power in your calculator and see what it gives you. It should give you 1. Everybody good? Okay. What about negative 7 to the negative 5th power? You can. Put it in your calculator. Tell me what you get. Now, what do you see around that negative 7? Do you think you need to put those in your calculator? Yes. If you don't, you might get it wrong. Hit math, enter. Hopefully it will fix it. It doesn't. I'm glad that we're doing this. So, negative, what was it, negative 7 to the negative 5th power? So if your calculator is being hard-headed and gives it to you as a big long decimal, I don't want the big long decimal, right? I think they're doing this to kind of make sure you know what's happening here, okay? Let me go back. How do I make that positive? 5? I move it to the bottom, okay? Now when I move it to the bottom, the 7 stays negative, but the 5 is what becomes positive, okay? So this is 1 over, I need to figure out what negative 7 to the 5th is. So what is that? Negative 16,000, excuse me, 807. And you just put 1 on top of it, okay? Any questions? Remember, it's going to be what kind of test? Multiple choice. So you take the answers they give you. If you put this in your calculator, it will give you that big long decimal that we just got. Did everybody see that? Okay. So use the calculators to your advantage. How do I get to the cube root? Where do I go on my calculator? Math. And something else.
No, 4.
Math, cube root. Let's put that up, please. Math 4, and they want the cube root of what?
That number.
Negative 216. Negative 6. Last but not least, what is 8 to the 1/3 power? 2. Everybody understands how to put them in your calculator. Easy enough. Is the 1/3 power the cube root? Yes. Okay. Remember, 19 and 20, they're asking you the same thing. They're just giving you different ways of saying it. Okay. This is the cube root. The 1/3 power is also a cube root. All right. Everybody good? All right. 21, 22, 23, 24. We're doing exactly the same thing, but now we've got what included? Variables. Okay, not just numbers anymore. So we just talked about this. Anything to the 0 power is what?
1.
What is to the 0 power on 21? Is anything besides C to the 0 power? No. So the only thing that becomes 1 is the what? The C. Okay? This is not equal to 1. It's equal to negative 2 times 1, which is what? Negative 2. Okay? Basically, the 0 power just cancels out the C to the 0 power. Everybody with me? Okay? So, same process here. The B to the 0 power. What happens to it? It's just what? It's just 1. So it kind of goes away. How do I make that positive? What do I do with the negative 9? Do I have to make it positive? No, because the 9 is not an exponent. Okay? It says, right, using only positive exponents. All right? So, this will be negative 9 over a squared. Okay? What do you do when you multiply like basis? What do you do with the exponents? Add. So this will be B, 3 plus negative 10. What is 3 plus negative 10? So that's the answer, but it's not using positive exponents. So how do I make that be a positive exponent? Move it on the bottom. So this will be 1 over B to the 7th. Okay? 24, power to a power. Multiply. X to the 21st power. Is that okay to leave? X to the 21st power? Is that a positive exponent? Yep, so we're good. X to the 21st power. All right. 25, halfway done. More of the same. Another power to another power. So what do we do with the exponents? We just did it. Multiply once again. That'll be x to the negative 6. Can I leave that like that? No. Move it down. 1 over x to the 6th. Okay? 26. Actually, we're going to subtract what? The fraction. So that will be b to the what? 5th times b to the 7th. Now what do we do with the exponents? Add. That is b to the 12th. And since it's a positive exponent, we are done. Okay? What is being going to the second power on 27? What is going to the second power? N, is that it? And the 3, because they're both where? In parentheses. So what is 3 squared? 9. And then n squared. Okay? And a lot of you during the actual test on this put like 6n squared. Or just put 3n squared. Okay? You got to square the 3. Everybody good? 28. Same process. Everything in here is going to what power? The 4th power. So you have to do -2 to the 4th power. Put the -2 in what? In parentheses. And it's a positive 4th power. You still didn't put your parentheses. There you go. -2, close parentheses, to the 4th power. What you get? 16. And then power to a power for the exponent, 32. Multiply 8 times 4. So 16s to the 32nd power. All right. 29, last one of this type. Everything goes to what power? The 3rd power. So what is 3/5 to the 3rd power? Three to the 3rd is what? 27. And what is 5 to the 3rd power? What's 5 times 5 times 5? 125. So that's my number part. And then we'll just have n to the 6th power. 3 times 2 is 6.
Then we do the input.
Good? Okay. Everybody good on 29? We are going to put 30 and 31 in our calculator. All right, so a root. Okay, a root means this thing, the radical. But what root is this root? That's a square root. But this one, they want a what root? A 3rd root. So you're going to put a 3rd root up there. Okay, so for this one, it will be the 3rd root of 216. And stick it in your calculator. What is the 3rd root of 216? 6. I think we already did that one once already. Okay? This one, what's the root going to be? 8. So the 8th root of -1, what's it say? No real numbers. That means it's imaginary, which we don't deal with. So you just have to put not what?
Not real.
Not real. Okay? Or no real roots, I believe, is what the answer is going to look like on your test. Okay? No real roots. All right. The last 2 for chapter 6. Okay, so 33 will be where chapter 6 stops. Okay? 32 is that exponential growth or exponential decay. You look at the number in the parentheses. Is it more than 1?
Yeah.
So this would be growth. Now, don't forget to identify the rate of change. How much percent rate of change? How much is it growing by? It's 15 more than 1, so that's 15% growth. Okay? 1/2. What is that as a decimal? 0.5. So is that more than 1 or less than 1? That's less, so it's decay. How much less than 1 is it? It's 50, so it'll 50% decay. Everybody understand how to do that? Okay? Starting at number 34. is where chapter 7 starts. Well, you need to take that test, by the way, at some point. All right, so 1 to 16 is chapter 5. 17 to 33 is chapter 6. And then 34 through the rest of them is chapter 7. Okay? So, 1 through 16 is chapter 5. 17 through 33 is chapter 6. And then 34 through the rest of them is chapter 7. Okay? So, degree. Degree means we are looking for the highest what? Exponent. If there is no variable, it is 0. Okay? If there's more than one variable, what do you do with the exponent? Add them together. So this one would be 12 and 16. Okay? 37 and 38, we're finding the sum, which just means we add like terms. Okay? He does. Negative 5y and negative 2y make negative 7y. 9 and 5 is 14. Okay? Same process here. I don't know who I saw doing it, but they were like circling them, the ones that are the same, but they would use a different shape. Like they'd use a triangle for the squares. Okay? Negative 4 or negative 5 and 4 make what? That's negative 1g squared. And then 4g and negative 3g is positive g. And then you just have plus 6 on the end. Questions on those?
So close to being done.
All right. Last one on the back of page 2. 39 through the rest of them. 39 and 40, we are not adding anymore. We're what? Subtracting, but Coach Knight doesn't like subtracting. I like adding. So I changed these subtraction signs to plus signs, and I change all the signs behind it. Okay? And then I do it just like I was just doing. Okay? So we have negative 2x squared and negative 4x squared. That makes what? Negative 6x squared. We have x and positive 4x make positive 5x. And then we have 6 and positive 12 makes positive 18. Okay? Same process here. And we'll change that to a plus. Makes that a minus. Makes that a plus. So 5k squared and negative 2k squared is 3k squared. Negative 8k, there are no other k's. And then 12 plus 6 is 18 once again.
You just put them.
I'm being bullied because I'm black. I don't like that.
It isn't because you're black. It's not always because of your race,
You
but
need a
you're
pencil?
Jesus. I have a pencil. I was
I
going
got
to
a
give
pencil
her.
if you need a pencil.
No,
You want a
pick it.
pencil, Katrina?
Still
Okay.
You can't use your race card for everything.
Oh yeah, bet.
I gotta go to the school of food's bad in my race.
My race car gets fast. Oh, you said card. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I thought you said car.
Yeah, Coach and I both of them.
He had a race car and he wrecked it
White pepper.
he had a race truck into a tree. The tree won.
I had a deer last
Landon,
night.
I really am glad you're okay, buddy.
Nature's scary.
Slow down there, okay?
I flipped my
That's
card.
All right.
I had a deer.
Attaboy.
Why?
That's so dumb.
Did you like swerve to hit it?
Did you swear to me?
No, there was no stopping.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
A deer can be crazy. I've had one. It wasn't my vehicle, thank goodness. It was somebody else's. But they literally, the deer hit the vehicle. What like we were going down the road and they came up and like hit the side of the door. Like Like, we didn't hit the deer hit us. But he was okay.
When the deer walks out front of you, what happened? The deer, I just hit your car.
Really? The one I'm talking about was a doe, thank goodness, because it would have scratched the door up bad. But it just kind of looked at us like we were in the. Well, what do you want? Anyway, all right.
You're welcome to violence.
41, 42, 43, 44, and 45. We are finding the product, which means we what? Multiply. So, this is where you have options. I saw some of you on the test. You like to do the squares. That's great. The blocks, okay. As you know, I'm more of a distribute guy, okay. M times M is M squared. M times -2 is -2M. 3 times M is positive 3M. And 3 times -2 is -6. And then you just add your like terms, which are in the middle right here. So that would be positive M and -6 for my final answer. Okay?
I get confused with those lines.
That's fine. Do the boxes. Like I said, ain't no shame in your game. Do the boxes.
Do the back.
Okay? In fact, I'm going to do 42 just in honor of you
Okay.
with the boxes. All
I know
right.
you can't pull a race card.
Oh, I know.
Because I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Oh, I did
So that
it
was
again.
off the internet.
Okay. 2M plus 6, 4M plus 5. Okay? We'll use our boxes this time. So 4M times 2M is 8M squared. Don't forget the M squared because that will make you get it wrong. 4M times 6 is 24M. 2M and 5 make 10M. And 5 times 6 is 30.
I hate names.
Add your like terms,
Why
so
is
we
that
get
X?
8M, I don't know, because I don't. 8M squared plus 34M plus 30. That should be M, sorry. Okay?
Where's the other calculator? Oh, right there.
Any questions on 42?
No.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Boxes are hard to do on number 34.
I thought you might say that, so I'm going to do 43 with the boxes as well.
Why?
43.
You're welcome. I'm so tired right now.
So, me problem.
It is a me problem.
Why do the boxes?
All right. If you have a binomial times a trinomial, no big deal. You just got to add a couple more boxes. Okay? So you got x plus 2 and x squared plus 6x plus 8. And you do the same process. This will be x to the third, 6x squared, and 8x, 2x squared, 12x, and 16. So we have a couple of like terms here. So my final answer will be x to the third. 6 and 2 make 8x squared. 8 and 12 makes 20x. And then plus 16. That's ugly. Okay. 44. What does this mean?
Just write it down twice.
Write it down twice. B plus 2 times B plus 2. And I'll go back to the distributing way. That's B squared plus 2B plus 2B again. And then 2 times 2 is 4. And then you add your like terms.
Romeo was not.
What? You don't know that,
I
Trinity.
would kill Shakespeare if he made Romeo black.
Really?
Oh. Oh boy.
Did you just say there's black people back then?
Wait, where were they? Because there's
Any
no
questions?
error. Okay, seriously, but where were they in that era?
45, I gave you one where it has a shortcut. These are the same. These are exactly the same except for the what? The sign. Okay? If that's the case, you just have to do the first two times the last two. Okay? Negative b times negative b is b squared. Positive 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. You don't have to do the parts in the middle because what's going to happen to the parts in the middle? They're going to cancel out. Okay? All right. 5 more.
5 more. Let's just forget the
6 more. No, 5 more.
5 more.
I was wrong.
We're not adding one more because you feel
5 more.
like
46, 47, 48. We are factoring. Okay? First, you look for a common factor. Do any of these, 1, 10, or 16, have a common factor? 2 won't go into 1.
Oh.
Okay? They don't have a common factor. So if they don't have a common factor, you play the game. What two numbers multiply to be 16 and add up to negative 10?
Negative 8, negative 2.
8 and 2.
8 and 2, and they both need to be what? Negative. Negative 8, negative 2. Can you factor it any further? No. Done. Okay? 47. Is there a greatest common factor? No. But this number needs to be 1. So we're going to borrow. Okay? Move it. That will be x squared plus 5x. 2 times 3 is 6. Now play the game. What two numbers multiply to be 6 and add up to 5?
6 negative 1.
That multiplies to be negative 6.
The Trinity doesn't know. Trinity gave up.
What else multiplies to be 6?
I don't know.
There's not many things. 1 and 6.
I don't know the science.
3 times 6 is not 6. 3 and 2.
Oh.
3 times 2 is 6. What's 3 plus 2?
Oh, 5.
5.
What?
Bada boom, bada bing. Okay? But the key to borrowing is to make sure we didn't steal it. So how do we make sure we gotta go put it back? What did we borrow? The 2. So we're going to divide by 2. Bottoms up if it reduces. Okay? So 2x plus 3, and then x plus 1. Okay? 48. Is there a common common factor? There is not. So what two numbers multiply to be 48 and add up to be 14? 6 and 8.
Can I go after John?
Every time you put it, he says it the opposite way.
Okay? Positive 6.
He said like
Positive 8. Any questions on 46, 47, 48? Why are you mad at me? What have I done?
You keep saying it opposite. You know, you could just like release it.
That's kind of assault on the teacher.
47, 48, 46, 47, and 48, you're just factoring. 49 and 50, you were what? Solving, okay? 49 is already factored for you. So all you have to do is set all 3 factors equal to what?
0.
0. So this first one, what is z going to equal?
0.
0. I got a little work to do on the second one. I know what it is, but I'm the teacher and I'm supposed to, okay? Set it equal to 0, so we're going to subtract 10 over. Negative 2z equals negative 10, divide by negative 2.
You're just bad.
Z does equal 5. All right? For the last one, z minus 2 equals 0. What would z need to be to make it be 0? 2. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Kyler. And last but not least, 50. There is no factors yet, so we have to make the factors by factoring it, okay? There is no common denominator or common factor. I don't know why I keep saying denominator. There's no common factor. So we have to figure out what two numbers multiply to be 121 and add up to be negative 22. 11 and 11. But they both need to be negative. Okay? Now, that's the factoring part. Solve means we take it one more step. So now we've just made it look like 49. We've got the factors. So what's my answer? 11. Positive 11. Do I have to write it twice? You do not. Okay?
I mean, can.
You can, but remember your test is going to be multiple choice, so you don't have to. All right?
We're done.
We made it in under an hour. Great job. See you next time. Stay above that line.